It is Friday, March 26th, 2021. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so you know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of coin metal. And it was yet another non-virtual get your ass kicked at Jiu-Jitsu Friday, although I did not get my ass kicked at Jiu-Jitsu today. I got it kicked yesterday. I got kicked hard enough and long enough that I decided I was going to take today off. It's my first week back after a few weeks off, and so I'm taking it my tentative kind of schedule, keep from injuring myself by getting too tired and then working out while I'm just not feeling up to it or not capable of defending myself fully or whatever, man. There's always that one little thing that you're not paying attention at the wrong time, and they get you, man. They break your arm, they twist your leg all up. It's not nice. But yeah, so as I was saying, yesterday I decided I was going to go in and get in that third day for the week a day early and try and kind of push my bounds a little bit. I was feeling good. It felt good to do. And so, I got in a really good session, and then then after that, I did the competition session, and I told the guy that was leading it to begin with, I'm like, look, man, there's no guarantee I'm going to finish this one, and I didn't. I came kind of close, I got about 35 minutes into it, but the thing is that we were doing positional sparring from the closed guard. And it was just 1 minute rounds. But it was like a Shark Tank, where you get done with one guy and then another guy gets on you and you beat him up, and another guy gets on you and you beat him up, and then the next guy beats you up, and then the guy after that beats you up, and so on and so forth. And I got in a couple good moves, really. A guy had me in an omoplata, and he almost got me forward, and he had my hip. And so I couldn't continue to roll forward because he had my hip trapped. But I was kind of leaning forward, and before he was able to swing his leg out behind him, I managed to grab his left foot. And because of that, he couldn't switch it to the back and then hook under my shoulder and bring it up for that to close out that omoplata. And so I caught his foot and I brought it in toward me. And then I slipped my hand between his legs and grabbed the ankle of the leg that he had, crossing the other leg. And so I uncrossed his legs and managed to get out of it. But let me tell you, man, I thought I was going to get locked into that omoplata. And I think if he was a little more forceful about it, he might have actually managed to finish that one off. But I managed to stay just a moment or two ahead of him and sneak out of it. A lot of work, but still managed to keep from getting my arm broke. But yeah, it was a good workout. It was a good workout. But I did it first, as in like I chose to be the one in the middle first, and the instructor kept me down in that position for like 15 minutes, or I don't know, not 15 minutes, but I mean it was 15 minutes worth of time, but I think I did like 8 1-minute rounds or something like that. It was a lot of rounds. Either way, got beat up, managed to do one or two neat things. I managed to get to full mount on a gentleman who's bigger than me, and what was really funny is that I haven't been sparring. And so I don't really know the reputation of the people that have been sparring, as far as how they measure up, and I noticed that everybody was kind of acting like they really didn't want to roll with this one guy, and he's slightly taller than me and a little bit bigger than me, and so I wasn't all that thrilled about the idea either, to be perfectly honest. But I was paired up with the bigger guys in the session, so And, and it just falls in with my observation that no matter what, if I ever do any competition again, I'm going to get paired against somebody who is bigger, probably stronger, and most likely more experienced than I am. And this guy kind of fit in that category. He's at least a blue belt in Gi Jiu-Jitsu, and I don't know if he's studied any other arts, but like I said, he has been sparring relatively regularly for however long I haven't been sparring. And I know he was kind of taking it easy because it was the beginning rounds and whatnot, but I managed to pass his guard, and it's funny, I kept doing this escape from the full guard where they kept trying to get me in a triangle. I get my elbow on the inside of the knee, and I'd force it down and kind of push it open a little bit, and then they would just slip it over my shoulder and try and get it into that triangle position. And so he got me kind of close on the triangle, but he didn't have my head pinned. He had the leg up over my shoulder, and he had his legs crossed on my side, but he was not in such a position where I was really threatened. It was kind of, I want to say it was kind of like a rubber guard, but he didn't have the grip on his shin for that. But anyway, I was trying to get out of that, and he's really, really strong, and his legs are really, really big. So instead of trying to straighten out the knee and do it that way, I brought it up to where he was kind of stacked, and he's a big guy too, so he's kind of stacked at about a 45-degree angle, or a little bit shallower than that, maybe a 35. And then I just rolled him off to my left side and passed his guard. And when I did pass his guard, I did it by backstepping, kind of, to where I was on his side, up under his armpit, and I had both of my hands on the top of his thighs, and so that was kind of containing him from rolling toward me or just rolling out of it. And from that position, I pushed his knees down just far enough to where I was able to get my knee across his and managed to bring it up to a full mount. And I think I would have been able to get an arm bar that I was working toward if I had maybe 30 more seconds, because I had the arm isolated, and it was just really a matter of getting my other leg up over his head and pinching the old knees together. But yeah, so that's why I didn't go in today, and that's why I'm kind of late, or actually very late. I'm an hour late. Terribly, terribly sorry for that. I'm one of these people that doesn't wear a watch, and so my only clock that I have on me is my phone. And because I was on the water, I had that stashed away so it doesn't end up in the water. And by the time I checked, it was 8:17, and I was still in my float tube. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. Not quite used to the time change yet, so I will catch up. My deepest apologies for the lateness. It won't happen again. Let's go ahead and throw down with some music, and you know how we do it on here. We're gonna open it up with a little bit of body count, even though we're an hour late. And but what song? Well, I'm feeling the need for it. I didn't do any workout today, but I did a good workout yesterday, and so here it is. Carnivore, First Dance, here on Coin Metal. And that was Periphery with Heavy Heart. It's kind of odd getting that one after 99 Problems, but it wasn't me that picked the song, so. Anyway, I kind of wanted to start off with something that I did on Twitter today. It seems that that Smallbot loves me or something, I don't know. But he, retweets pretty much everything I put out there. which I like. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate it. Anyway, I saw this tweet out there by Dilf Destroyer. Halsey doing an NFT thing to raise money to an organization to lower carbon emissions is making me lose my mind. Imagine chopping down 100 trees and then being like, hey folks, we're chopping down 100 trees to plant 101 more. We're helpful. Well, this is my response to that. You and your lost mind. Who gives a fuck? The people who burned that electricity most likely generated it or invested in its production too. I have no idea what you are bitching about. And that's pretty much how I feel about it. You know, is that I read enough stories every week about miners getting into investing in infrastructure projects, improving internet infrastructure, improving electricity infrastructure, you know, buying up all kinds of video cards, making the economy boom that way. And then on the other side of it, I see these people who are most likely paid by bankers bitching about how much energy that Bitcoin uses and other cryptocurrencies. The fact of the matter is that there is no better way to transact monetary value. If you doubt it, on Twitter, I want you to follow a Twitter account, and if I can find it, it's like whale signals or something like that. Anyway, it's or whale alert. It tells you every time there's a really big transaction that goes through, and on any of the cryptocurrency networks, not just Bitcoin. And shit, I see them all day long. You know, $1 million worth here, $14 million there. All of that money, if you were to try to, say, do a wire transfer, the fee for it alone would make your heart stop. You know, and on top of that, the uncertainty that's introduced by using another entity to do it, there's always the possibility that they'll hold it up for some reason. They'll say no to you because you can't transfer $10 million. You're not a bank. You're not a sheik of some fucking country. So no, you can't do that. I'll tell you what. Here it is. It's whale alert. Whale_alert. If you follow that account on Twitter, you will see these all day long. Here it is. It's 170 million CRO, and that was worth $34,668,398. Transferred from unknown wallet to unknown wallet. Understand that? You can't do that with US dollars. You can't do that with most of the other fiat currencies out there. If you tried to do it in US dollars, do you have any idea how many trucks you would need to physically move $34.6 million, or yeah, 36.7 if you round up, $34.7 million. It's a lot of fucking money. Can you imagine trying to physically move that around? How much gas that would take? How many security personnel you would have to employ? How many trucks you would have to put on the road? Now compare that to fucking mining. Give me a break. Cryptocurrencies do that all fucking day long. That you, like I said, you literally cannot move that much money around without costing way more than it does in electricity for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And it's the biggest flaw in the argument against mining, is that, you know, when you address the amount of electricity that goes into mining Bitcoin as a singular thing, you know, you don't consider any other expenditure of electricity, you know, to contrast or anything like that, except for to badmouth Bitcoin. That's like when you're looking at it as, thousands and thousands and thousands of megawatt hours every day that are going to cryptocurrency mining. When you just look at it that way, you can look at it and you can say, oh my god, it's burning as much electricity as Ireland. You're only able to come up to that idea, that perception about it, if that is the only metric by which you're evaluating it. If you contrast it versus mining and or storing gold, the expenditure to store gold and to secure gold and safeguard gold would make your fucking head spin if you tried to compare it to the amount of money that's dedicated to mining every year. Like I said, as a standalone artifact, hey, it looks like a big ass amount of electricity. But when you consider what it does and what its contemporaries or competitors are, their competitors they don't compete. There's a reason why we consider Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies above them. There's a reason why, despite all of this resistance, this continues to be the single biggest and fastest growing fucking industry on this planet. I think oil production might be keeping up with it. But that's about it. Anyway, got this thing here. It's on decrypt.co. Some NFT sales could be illegal. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. And this is by Will Gottsigan. So yes, penis. And this is authored on March 26, 2021. The hype around NFTs or non-fungible tokens refuses to die down, and regulators are taking notice. Yeah, because you're making money and they're not getting a cut. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce, affectionately known as Crypto Mom within the cryptocurrency industry. I've never addressed Hester Pierce as Crypto Mom, warned investors yesterday that some NFTs could be considered unregistered securities under certain circumstances. I don't give a fuck. Quote, the whole concept of an NFT is supposed to be non-fungible, so it's supposed to be unlike anything else, Pierce said during a Security Token Summit webinar on Thursday. Quote, which means it is, or that it's, I think in general, less likely to be a security, but people are being very creative in the types of NFTs they're putting out there. It's a wonder what some people will pay for, and so I think given that creativity, as with anything else, you should be asking questions. NFTs are cryptographically secure digital assets, essentially just a token attached to an image or video file. They've been selling for ridiculous amounts of money. The digital artist Beeple sold a single NFT for $69 million at Christie's and have been used to promote music, digital art tweets, and journalism. They've also posed problems for investors. There are potentially copyright issues as well as ethical concerns around the Ethereum network's energy consumption. Yeah, see, you're hearing it from a fucking banker. Gosh, I wonder what the source might be. Continuing. Some have suggested that crypto art might make a good vehicle for money laundering, sort of like physical art, like it's anything new, right? Pierce explained that certain kinds of fundraising efforts tied to NFTs might, quote, raise the kinds of questions that ICOs have raised. Quote, if you're doing something where you were saying, I'm going to sell you this thing and I'm going to put a lot of effort into building something so that this thing that you're buying has a lot of value, those kinds of sales will attract more regulatory scrutiny. I don't know why. Go fuck off. ICOs, or initial coin offerings, have been a thorn in the SEC's side for years. They give early investors in crypto startups the chance to buy into a company's cryptocurrency with the promise of a return down the line. The issue is that the SEC has taken the position that just about every token ever sold through an ICO is unregistered security, and the Commission has come down hard against those token issuers in lawsuit after lawsuit, despite the fact they have absolutely zero regulatory authority over your cryptocurrency project. Continuing, Pierce also suggested that fractionalized NFTs, i.e. selling partial interest in a single expensive NFT, could run the risk of being unregistered securities. Pierce's comments add yet another wrinkle to the NFT gold rush. Quote, "You've always got to ask those questions," he said. "As we've seen, the definition of a security can be pretty broad." No. The definition of a security is very, very finite. The problem is the SEC, in their interpretation, means everything that they point at and say, "That's a security," is a security. That is the tautology that they are going by here, is that because we say it's a security, and we register, you gotta register with us. I'm sorry, the 14-year-old that invents the newfangled thing isn't going to be going to the SEC and studying the Securities and Exchange Act of 1933 and saying, does this pass the Howey test? Is this a security, SEC? Because the SEC is going to say, do you make money on it? And if the kid says, well, maybe, that's kind of the point of it, then the SEC is going to say, it's a security, give us a cut! It's fucking ludicrous, man. They just run around and point at shit. Oh, that's a security! They could go to Dunkin' Donuts and point at the donuts in the shelf there and say, that's a security! You made those with the express intent of making a profit on them. A gratuitous profit at that. So it's a security. You owe us a cut. You got to register every single one of those fucking donuts with us. You're fucking kidding me. I mean, there should be something inherently illegal about that. Some regulatory entity that, from what I understand, is actually a private company, running around and claiming shit is illegal just because they say it's illegal. Like I said, there should be something fucking illegal about that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's some violation of somebody's fucking rights. For some unattributable, fucking unaccountable entity to just come up and put a fucking hand in your pocket and say, yeah, you owe us money, give us a cut. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what we fought a war against the UK for. Is to get like liberated from that bullshit, because there they were 8,000 miles away in the fucking ocean away from us, and they're like, hey man, you owe us some money, give 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 us some money, you exist, you owe us money because you exist, give us some money, give us some money, give us some money. And I imagine in the not so distant future we're probably going to see the same thing happen all over again. Only we're going to be fighting against not a government, but a private entity posing as a government department. See, I've kind of come to a different understanding about this stuff, and I don't know if it's accurate, so don't take it as fucking legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. But my feeling is, and it's based off of an understanding about the SEC and a few other, well, pretty much every federal regulator, probably even state ones too, that they're in fact private companies, and they're enlisted under some bill or another to perform a function. Now, The way to avoid it, and this is not legal advice. The way I've seen to avoid these people is to not register with them. Like, if you go to them and you ask them stuff about your stuff, they will immediately claim that, yes, we regulate your shit, give us money. It doesn't matter if they would actually improve your product or improve your business practices or anything like that. They don't actually have to provide any benefit other than the fact that they're not going to come by with a gun in your face and tell you, give us some fucking money or we'll put you in jail. And so, like, when you get a regulatory violation, such as you've sold a unregistered security, or you sold something that the SEC later came along and said, that's a security, you owe us money. If that's happened, like, or God damn it, I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, I was very excited. I completely derailed myself there. The point being that the SEC just does not have the authority to run around and point at shit and claim it's a security. Oh yeah, that was it. If you register with them and you have some sort of security violation, like you put out a security that you don't bother to tell them about, and you make money on it, that because you didn't notify them and you are registered with them, you're now in a contractual breach. See, and this, to me, is why entities like Enron and Wells Fargo can rip people off completely fucking blind in ways that if you or I or any other unregistered entity did the same fucking thing, we'd be in jail. We'd be in prison. Complete fraud. Utter theft. We'd be in prison. But because they're registered, the SEC says, oh no, that's a securities violation. So we're going to penalize you $10 million. And you're going to pay it. Because if you don't, now you are actually in a contractual breach, because you not only violated the terms of the contract with the SEC, but you've also refused to pay, and now you've created an injured party. The SEC is now the aggrieved party because you were supposed to follow their rules, you did not follow their rules, there were a pre-prescribed list of penalties for you failing to follow the rules, and you failed to pay that penalty after it was issued against you. And so now, again, you have created a crime. Something that there's an actual definition, a criminal definition for. And now you can go to prison. But until that point, until you're registered with the SEC, you're not in any risk of running afoul of them if you're not registered with them. But the moment you register with them, and the law says, I think in some way, shape, or form, that, if they say that it's fucking security, that, you're supposed to register with them, and if you don't, well, then it's an unregistered security, and that's illegal. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like this is the way it goes, because I look at how things have gone in the past where we know people did wrong. We know without a fucking doubt that people did shit that if you or I did, we'd be in fucking prison. And not just state prison, like federal pound me in the ass prison. But these entities get away with it because they're fully registered and they're fully licensed. They're accredited. We vouched for them at one point. And they pay us. So, we got to stand up for them because, well, we're contractually obligated for that. We've relieved them of any criminal wrongdoing. They just have to pay us a penalty for falling into breach with their contract with us. And as soon as they do that, everything is cool. Nobody goes to prison. I mean, there'll be a rarity where like 1 or 2 people go to prison, but they're just fucking sacrificial lamb. Truth is, you had hundreds, if not thousands, of people involved in the scam, knowing it was fully fucking illegal, but fully encouraged to continue to act in that fucking illegal, fraudulent manner. And to me, it explains why these entities get away with it. It's because it's something that's kind of covered by the fact that they're registered. If they weren't registered, they'd get a big book thrown at them and they'd be in prison forever. But no, they were fully licensed with the NYDFS, so it's cool. Who cares if it was a criminal activity? Did they file a suspicious transaction report? If they didn't do that, now they're in a criminal violation. And now we can go after them and put them in Gitmo. But, you know, tens of millions of Americans out on the street because some fraudulent practices with regard to housing loans. Oh, we don't give a shit about that. We're not going to put anybody in prison for that. I mean, it's a securities violation, so they'll pay a penalty and they're good to go. You know, meanwhile, you and your family are on the street because of some loan that they encouraged you to sign up with, and that they did not disclose all of the terms of. You know, they didn't tell you that after 6 months it was going to go up 3x. And if you weren't working in fucking Silicon Valley by then, pulling down $500K a year, there was no way you were ever going to be able to pay that fucking housing payment. You know, anyway. This is the kind of traps that I think can be fully avoided if they just ignore crypto entirely. The only time that they should ever pay any attention to it is if there is an actual aggrieved party going to a police office and saying, this motherfucker stole my money. Okay, now, you know, this guy swindled me out of money. He sold me a lemon and he swindled me out of money, and I know where he lives, and let's go bust him. I mean, there's plenty of crimes on the books, plainly defined, plainly documented, that we could prescribe to a wide variety of actions, and we don't need to author a single line of a regulatory framework or regulatory clarity or any of that other bullshit in order to get the idea across. In order to make anybody safer. Anyway, I got this thing here. It's also on decrypt.co. Texas crypto law proposal has one major flaw, experts say. Yeah, the Texas government thinks they have something to say about cryptocurrency. That's the major flaw. Continuing. And this is authored on March 26, 2021 by Liam Frost. So yes, penis. While positive for the industry overall, I don't see how. New crypto-friendly amendments to the law proposed in Texas could lead to, quote, a lean mess for Bitcoin holders, Caitlin Long, CEO of crypto bank Avanti. Introduced in mid-March, House Bill 4474 aims to adapting the existing laws to emerging technologies such as blockchain and digital assets. Namely, HB 4474 proposes to clarify the definitions of digital currencies and of control over them under commercial law. Go fuck yourself. Quote, first, it's awesome that Texas is likely to become the second state to treat Bitcoin the same as money under U.S. commercial law, Long tweeted, adding, quote, for lawyers out there, Texas is proposing to apply the UCC take-free rules, which means innocent purchasers of Bitcoin and other virtual currencies take free of any adverse claims as long as they didn't defraud the seller. That's a big deal. Well, that's an interesting thing. However, unlike in Wyoming, America's crypto-friendliest state, where Vonti itself received a banking license, Texas's proposal arguably has a major flaw. It doesn't explicitly state how lenders can enforce their liens on Bitcoin. Over the past year, crypto-related lending in various forms has become a major, fast-growing part of the crypto industry. I don't know why. One of the best examples of this is Ethereum's booming decentralized finance ecosystem, where the biggest platforms such as MakerDAO, Compound, and Aave are all focused on lending. Quote, "It has a gaping hole. I'd encourage Texas to amend HB 4474 to incorporate Wyoming's language around possessory security interests, which maps how Bitcoin lending actually works," Long explained. And then there's a tweet of here, keeping in mind the language in Texas HB 44.7 borrows from the Uniform Laws proposal, which evolved substantially from early drafts and is moving in the right direction. Applying to take-free rules to Bitcoin is absolutely the right answer, but the ULC process is unfinished. It still has a gaping hole. I'd encourage Texas to amend HB 4474 to incorporate Wyoming's language around possessory security interests, which maps how Bitcoin lending actually works. Possession/control of a private key is everything in Bitcoin. Paper filings are a joke. She added that in Wyoming, the law clearly explains how liens on Bitcoin can be enforced and allows for the cleansing of dormant liens. In contrast, HB 4474 only states that an innocent buyer will not become a subject of such claims due to the take-free rule that frees purchasers from the security interest. However, then it becomes unclear what would happen to already existing crypto liens after HB 4474 potentially comes into effect. Quote, "So if the Texas law passes as proposed, it will probably create a lien mess where lenders may lose out on their valid Bitcoin liens. Enacting this bill may cause legit lenders to leave Texas, assuming the bill actually becomes law, over the valid objections of lenders," Long noted. In his turn, Lee Bratcher, president of the Texas Blockchain Council, told Cointelegraph that while some concerns still remain, the bill could receive additional amendments to address these issues in the future. He added, quote, "We are working to produce a framework that moves in the same direction as Wyoming, and we will be following up with additional legislation in the future." Yeah, the guy's trying to, kick you out of crypto. Fortunately, though, he doesn't actually have any control over what you do with your money, or your hardware for that matter. Yeah, I'm really offended by these people that come into crypto and talk like it's something that they can regulate, or that they should regulate, or that they should have anything to say about whether or not it should be regulated. Yeah, find it offensive. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down with a little bit of music before we get back to it here. And I got one by Korn, and I think it applies perfectly to this situation. Blind, here on Coin Metal. And that was Vola with Stray the Skies. And so, man, that's a beautiful build. I'm looking at a 3D printed, I'm pretty sure it's a 223. No, it's got to be a 9mm, double stack 9mm. But it's in it's almost in an M4 kind of configuration. It's really neat. But it was all 3D printed. So tracking it, good luck with that. Anywho, as far as what else, caught this thing, and I may get into it, but I caught another one that I definitely want to get it into. Let's see, not that one, not this one, maybe not this one. No, not this one. This is one we already covered. We just covered this one. So no, maybe this one. Get rid of that one. Yeah. Now we've talked about this quite a bit on this show, that it's my thesis that the vast majority of the quote-unquote volatility that we see in cryptocurrencies in their prices in terms of US dollars is actually due to what's happening on the US dollar side of the equation. And this is an unpopular perspective. A lot of people like to attribute all of Bitcoin's ascension solely on things that are happening in crypto, or solely as a reflection of demand for crypto. And this is not the case. I would say a good probably 60 to 70% of Bitcoin's relative value, as demonstrated and expressed in the market, is due to slippage of the US dollar versus Bitcoin. And it's not just a matter of how many US dollars are being created. It's the fact that Bitcoin is created once, on average, every 10 minutes, sometimes shorter. But the thing is, when you contrast that versus the volume and the seemingly arbitrary nature of the creation of US dollars and other fiat currencies, then the idea of all of the value of Bitcoin being a reflection of demand just goes away. And you can see this more readily in countries like Zimbabwe. You know, where at one point, I think it was when Bitcoin was worth $8,000 here, if you were to buy it here and then sell it to somebody in Zimbabwe, you could get $19,000 for it. So you buy it for $8,000 and you sell it for $19,000. That's over 100% profit, kids. And you can rest assured people were taking advantage of that fucking arbitrage. It was temporary. It only took a couple days for it to level out a little bit, but it was there. You know, and the fact of the matter is that's a reflection of the fact that Zimbabwe's government was getting into a shit ton of debt and issuing a shit ton of dollars to offset it. Anyway, got this thing here. Bitcoin at inflection point as fiat debasement rises, Soros Fund Management CIO. And this is by Matthew DeSalvo, and it was authored on March 26, 2021. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are at an inflection point, and this is partly due to increased money supply in the U.S., the CIO of Soros Fund Management said yesterday. Investment banker Don Fitzpatrick also said that the investment fund, founded by billionaire investor George Soros, was also investing in cryptocurrency infrastructure in a Thursday interview with Bloomberg. Fitzpatrick added that, quote, that Bitcoin was interesting and no longer a fringe asset. Quote, when it comes to crypto generally, I think we're at a really important moment in that something like Bitcoin might have stayed a fringe asset, but for the fact that in the last 12 months, we've increased money supply in the US by 25%. So there's real fear of debasing fiat currencies, she said. Fitzpatrick listed Bitcoin's benefits, that it's, quote, easily storable, easily transferable, and has a finite amount of supply, and noted that she thinks that it has taken some of gold's buyer base away. The CIO wouldn't say whether she had personally invested in the cryptocurrency. She also didn't go into detail about the Soros Fund Management's cryptocurrency investments. Fitzpatrick's theory on the debasement of fiat currencies is nothing new. Cryptocurrency investors typically argue that the depreciation of the US dollar is a good reason for holding alternative assets. MicroStrategy boss Michael Saylor, who has arguably led the institutional investment craze, regularly preaches that the, quote, safe haven asset is a better bet than fiat money. MicroStrategy first jumped into Bitcoin last summer, adding the crypto asset to the company's balance sheet. It's now $5 billion deep into Bitcoin, and heaven fucking help them if it should ever tank. Fitzpatrick went on to say that central bank digital currencies will be here, quote, quicker than people expect, and that China was leading the charge. Bullshit. Bullshit. There's a number of narratives going on that are trying to create a justification in the mind of the average person of a justification for transferring to a government-controlled currency, and to kind of like pre-soften your noodle for that, kind of prep you for the idea of, I'm not going to have US dollars anymore, it's just going to be this Federal Reserve CBDC. Continuing on. CBDCs are digital versions of fiat money designed to make payments faster and more secure. Countries around the world are racing to design their own native digital currencies, but China is way ahead and is already piloting a digital yuan that they're not talking about anywhere, that nobody is talking about, which leads me to believe that nobody is actually using it. Continuing. The US, meanwhile, is still slowly researching a digital dollar. This month, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that the world's largest economy was not yet ready to make a decision on releasing a CBDC. Fitzpatrick said that this was, quote, strategic on China's part and perhaps a way to undermine the influence of Bitcoin. Good fucking luck. Quote, they want their digital currency to be used around the world. It's a potential threat to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, she told the interviewer. No, it isn't. But she did add that she didn't think China would be, quote, successful in permanently destabilizing Bitcoin. I don't think that China has any hope of destabilizing Bitcoin. They have a better hope of running a side chain off of Bitcoin than they do displacing Bitcoin. And that's not even me being hyperbolic or anything like that. I mean, or parabolic even. Anyway, so yeah, that was definitely one I wanted to get to, and I think I had another one here that I wanted to dive into. Nigerian stablecoins protection against inflation. Yeah, here we go. Now, keep in mind, personally, I believe that USDT is already a Fed coin. That I'm almost 100% positive that iFinex and Bitfinex and Tether are all run by the Federal Reserve or one of the Federal Reserve banks. And the only reason I say that is because the kinds of things that they're accused of aren't really things that they should be going after. I mean, the fact of the matter is nobody is going after them for counterfeiting, when by every stretch of the imagination, that's what they're doing by creating US dollar proxies and circulating them in the stead of US dollars. Might as well be fucking counterfeiting. You might as well, like in physical terms, that would be like printing monopoly money telling everybody we're valuing these on their face at $1 and circulating them as physical cash. It would be the same exact thing. But nobody's paying attention to them. DOJ, don't give a fuck. You know, if you were to be running a printing press right now and running off US dollars, DOJ would be up your ass with both hands. They touch and tether? Nope. Counterfeiting the day is long. As the day is long, rather. And so, counterfeiting, and really, if there were one thing in cryptocurrencies, one thing, and this is what pisses me off the most about the SEC and their application of the Securities and Exchange Act, if there were one thing that could possibly be unequivocally described as a security, as being a security, it would be stablecoins. Why isn't the SEC chasing after Tether, saying that's a fucking security? And again, that's what pisses me off the most about them. It's not that they're chasing after ICOs. I mean, I think that's bullshit. You know, for one thing, you know, I think them chasing after ICOs is bullshit. I think that them even speculating on NFTs is bullshit. Because these are things that they do not control. These are things that are controlled by kids and other entities out there. Fuck, the NBA is all up in NFTs. But when you look at those activities and how they're documented on public blockchains, they can be verified at any time on public blockchains. You don't have to go to the U.S. Treasury and say, hey, do you have a record of this transaction? No. You just look up the transaction ID or look up the public addresses that are involved in the transaction, and you can find it. You can find all the information you want out on it. There isn't a single system that the banks use that is that transparent to the open public. But now with stablecoins, we can't even verify that they actually have the collateral behind them. So for all we know, they're like worse than counterfeit, because there's literally nothing backing them. You know, not volumes of Bitcoin, not volumes of US dollars, nothing. I mean, probably the only one that is relatively solvent, and I say relatively because they could just as easily be counting funds from elsewhere on their balance sheet as being collateral for their stablecoin, it would be USDC. Although they are used frequently in DeFi. So, I don't know. There's serious liquidity risks, or illiquidity risks, as the case may be, with regard to USDC. I don't know. They're a whole different animal on their own, but they're run in fact by Goldman Sachs, and that's not a conspiracy theory. If you follow the fucking paper trail back far enough, you find out that the parent company that is running USDC, I think it's like Circle or somebody like that, or Oval, or I don't know. Anyway, they are owned by Goldman Sachs, which means USDC is owned by Goldman Sachs. So anyway, I got this thing here. Nigerians turn to stablecoins for protection against inflation. Any safe harbor, right? And this is by Sandali Handagama, so no penis. And this is authored on March 15th, 2021 at 7:05 a.m. PDT. Okay, Letitia Chigozi, a 28-year-old Nigerian logistics worker, dreams of opening her own shoe store in Nigeria. Having no credit history, she does not qualify for a bank loan to fund her enterprise. Instead, she joined a traditional savings group in her community, sometimes called Isusu. These savings circles allow those without access to traditional banking services to save money and acquire loans or credit. The problem is that in inflationary countries like Nigeria and Zimbabwe, the value of savings could plummet. Stablecoins, cryptocurrencies pegged to a strong fiat currency like the US dollar or a basket of assets to keep their prices stable, could be a solution to Letitia's problem. No, they can't. Quote, devaluation is a problem because if you check the last 2 years, 20,000 Naira doesn't really have a lot of value now, Letitia said. Quote, what if I can actually invest this money somewhere, or probably save it somewhere, and the value doesn't go down? Then I can use it for something better. Why not? Why not indeed? I'm not saying that she shouldn't invest. I'm just saying that stablecoins aren't necessarily a solution. Dollar stablecoins have become a compelling option for individuals and businesses facing local currency volatility and hyperinflation, according to Josh Hawkins, Senior Vice President of Marketing at Circle, Goldman Sachs. In Argentina, another inflationary economy, people are increasingly turning to DAI, a stablecoin backed by the US dollar, after the government imposed restrictions on the amount of dollars citizens could purchase. Quote, we've seen growing demand for digital dollars, especially over the past 12 months, Hawkins told CoinDesk via an email. Untapped market. Traditional savings groups, large and small, play a vital role in providing savings and credit opportunities to millions of people, not just in Nigeria, but across the African continent. In Africa, around 350 million adults do not have bank accounts, according to the World Bank. Globally, the unbanked are disproportionately female and poor, and savings circles are mostly formed and run by women. In 2018, in South Africa alone, 11 million people were part of a traditional savings group called Scovilles and saved around $3 billion. Quote, I'm a low-income earner. Most of the people who join these African traditional savings groups are low-income earners, Letitia said. A small isusu like the one that Letitia joined, is made up of around 12 or more friends, colleagues, or neighbors. The members periodically contribute a fixed portion of their earnings to a communal fund. Letitia contributes around 20,000 Nigerian Naira, around $41 monthly. After collection, the total sum is given to one member of the group on a rotational basis, which means each member of the group has a chance to access the full fund without interest. To join the group, Letitia didn't have to have a credit history or a bank account. Someone from the group just had to vouch for her. Often the funds that are collected are redistributed as they are without any value increase. In fact, in 2017, a study conducted in Ghana, Malawi, and Uganda showed that although community savings groups help boost the number and longevity of businesses created in villages, they did not increase total household income or food security. Digitizing savings funds. We're running up against it, and this is a bit longer article than I had anticipated. Probably should have read it earlier. Damn it, Jim. Don't have enough time in 2 minutes to do it. Anyway, it is with that I'd like to close out this episode. Thank you very much for listening. My deepest apologies for not having been here right at 8 o'clock as normal, and I'd like to apologize for Wednesday. I did finish a show, but for some stupid reason I didn't actually connect. But I did the whole show, and I edited it, and you can find it on my YouTube channel. I have uploaded it. So the show for 3/24/2021 is up for your listening pleasure. And it is with that I'd like to close out this episode. No last dance tonight, just because we are right up against the hour. But we will be back again on Monday. So until then, I want y'all to trade safe. Do your homework. And watch out for your own bunghole, because nobody else is going to do it for you. Thank you very much for listening, and you all have an excellent weekend. Good night.